Let's talk about using a tap and die set. You use a tap and die to create or recreate threads. So here we are, we've got this engine block. We want to mount it to the engine stand. So what we need is 3 good holes on the block to screw through this mount to the stand. And we've got 1, 2 with good threads. But these other holes, which are perfect for what we need, are very rusty because they weren't actually used while the block was on the car, so the holes are filled with water and they've rusted out. Originally at the factory these were threaded, so we need to restore the thread in order to get a bolt in there and find 3 good mounting points for the stand. If you take a look at this hole here, you'll see that it's extremely rusty and you can barely even see that there is a thread there. But looking at the other holes, I know there is a thread. I've had this tap and die set for ages and it hardly gets used, but when it does get used, it's super useful. So what we've got is these dies, which are used for making threads on shafts, for example on a bolt, and these taps, which are used to make interior threads, so the thread inside a nut, for example. So what you're going to do is you'll take a bolt that fits the hole, in this case this one, and we've got here a thread gauge which you can hold against the thread on the bolt, and it tells you the appropriate pitch of thread, and then we find a die that matches. But I don't tend to use this this thread gauge because it's quicker to just have a rummage in here, find the appropriate size, find the thread, and just hold them next to the bolt and see, does it pair up? So we'll have a rummage around in here and find a tap that fits the thread that we're looking for. This one's not right, it's probably this one. There we go, that matches up perfectly. So now we want a tap handle, which is this, gives us this T shape. So we insert the tap in here and just clamp it down to take a good grip. So we've got our tap set ready to use. What we want to do is just put some fluid in this hole, just to ease the cutting process somewhat. I'll use WD-40. If you've got cutting fluid, that's even better. WD-40 does the job, we don't need too much. Now we can take our handle and just insert. Now we want to find the existing thread, so just be very delicate as we come in. Make sure we're coming in perpendicular and just slowly thread this down until we find that we're seated in the existing thread. And now, once we've got some bite, a bit of wobble, that feels good. So the process here is we take a half turn forwards and a quarter turn back. A half turn forwards and a quarter turn back. A half turn forwards and a quarter turn back. The reason for that is to allow the swarf or the metal cuttings to make their way up these splines in the edge of the tap. So we'll just work our way down to the bottom in the same process. So let's take this out and just check that our bolt fits into our shiny new threads, which it does. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. If you think there's a chance that the threads are too rusty for the bolt, then tap them out, because otherwise you'll end up damaging them with the bolt and making life much harder. We want to just give this a clean, and I'll put it away for the next 3 months.